Well, welcome to the finest bubble. Today we're in Ambonnay at a very famous name of a grower, Egly-Ouriet. And Essi, you've been visiting here for quite a number of years now, and we've brought two of their, I suppose we call them their entry steps, don't we, into their range?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think just a few years back, the Grand Cru that used to be called Tradition was the entry-level cuvée, and who could offer Grand Cru only as the entry level, so very unusual. But definitely, yes, the Premices is the newer addition to the range, so now they are also including more of Francis Egly's wife's vineyards from the Massif de Santeri into their own production. So this one is also quite curiously, because we are quite used to Egly being very Pinot Noir dominant. This wine is actually an equal blend of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Verzenay. But other than that, crafted very much in the very precise and perfectionist Egly ways. The only difference being here that the wine is not fermented in oak barrels, so tanks only for this one.
So let's have a look. This is from the dominant year of 2019. 2019 Essi is looking quite a strong year.
Oh yeah, they are wonderful. Wonderful base here. I mean, it's really one of my recent year's favorite, definitely.
And so relatively young, 2019, disgorged July 23, so 3 years sort of lees time. And I think with the third of the grape varieties.
I like it's very fragrant, nose with a bit of even flowers, dried flowers, but of course a lot of both apple and like ripe orchard fruit characters. Lovely toastiness on top of everything as well. So very, very clean and pure nose.
The interesting, as I was sluicing that around my mouth, the interesting thing is it's got 1 gram, so the dosage barely exists, but there's a really rich texture. Now the interesting thing is this isn't barrel fermented, and that's usually one of the ways that you'd bring in extra texture.
Yeah, I mean, but very low yielding old vineyards. That's the secret. But I think with Egly always the surprise comes on the palate because there's no malolactic fermentation, so it's super zingy. So no malolactic fermentation, basically almost no sugar. It's a really sharp and crisp and sort of zingy wine.
Rather beautiful, rich yellow fruit, because it's only a third Chardonnay. But there's some beautiful lemon rich, almost pineapple-y. I guess that's that nice ripe year without it being hot from 19.
Yeah, very delicious, effortlessly delicious. I like the airiness, the laciness of the palate. It has a lot of energy and vibrancy to it. Easy drinking, but at the same time, there's a lot of inbuilt complexity to this one. I really like it. I think it complements the Egly range, the previous, the original cuvées that are much more on the vinous side. This is a nice contrast to that. It is more of lightness and vivacity.
And it's made. You've used the words, like precisely, and you see that. It just there's something rather beautiful about the way it all comes together.
Exactly.
And I love the fact that there's no oak, but they've got a rather lovely, rich texture to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Low yields, I guess, and
and really, they are super perfectionist, if anyone in Champagne. So it's really remarkable the attention to detail at the estates.
It's worth saying, it's actually quite affordable. It's like £55.
Yeah.
Here we go, my memory, trying to remember. So, great step into...
Yeah. And it's quite a big vineyard, 3.5 hectares approximately, something like that. So there is nice volume behind that cuvée, so it's really great. For all the Egly lovers, I'm sure we're all welcoming this type of wine with a bit more availability.
And I think Essi and I were actually visiting there back in March. If I remember right, Essi, they've actually got the other half of the vineyard also coming into production.
Yeah, absolutely. Little by little, they are incorporating it. All right, so we see a difference in color, much more peachy tones.
No, it is. It's it's amazing. You could see it.
Yeah.
It's almost that hint of pink, isn't it?
Yeah. So for the Grand Cru, we would be in Ambonnay, we would be in Bouzy, we would be in Verzenay. So really classic origins for it. And the base year for this one, it was...
So this is 2018. 50% is from that dominant year, 30% 17, and 20 from 16. The aromatics, just to have a sneaky preview, it's whoosh, isn't it?
Yes. Very expressive, very open, overt, inviting. Lots of really ripe profile of fruit, like really ripe, even
Yes.
sort of baked peaches or
exactly
apricot
right.
tarts,
Yes.
like a very, very ripe profile.
So 70% is Pinot, but there is 30% in Chardonnay in this one. I'm not picking the Chardonnay up aromatically yet. I'm guessing that's all on the palate, but let's see.
Lovely texture, very silky, concentrated, flowing, but then you have that acidity, that backbone that really brings it all together into this much more tighter, compacted whole.
Now, another champagne I remember we tasted together, you used a term about lightness. And I think, considering this is 70%, Pinot Noir, from a nice rich year, this still has that beautiful lightness to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's all about that acidity and that salinity that this one has. Really starts rather rich, especially it smells very, very sweet and rich, but then you have a lot of superb freshness and focus on the palate.
There's a bit of I think the salinity in this is rather sort of, there's a real mouth-wateringness to it. 36 months lees on the first, and then on the one we're drinking 50 months, disgorged September 23.
Yeah.
It's a real, isn't it? It's a big champagne, but terribly light.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, both. As I said earlier, like the contrast of these two cuvées, both are delicious, but very different crafting.
I think if I was standing around having a drink in the garden, I would love to drink the first one, Les Premices, Essi. I think that's rather... Now actually I think we're picking up a bit of the lemon richness is really coming out.
And now with the time in the glass, I'm starting to taste more the spiciness from oak in the Grand Cru.
Okay. The Grand Cru is glorious, but I don't want to completely overshadow the first one because I actually really love that.
This one is tough. Which one to choose? Can we not have both again?
What are we doing? Are we doing a blend?
Yeah, we will try that.
Essi, thank you. Two fascinating wines. I'm caught with the aftertaste of the Grand Cru. It just goes on and on and on. I think it's rather lovely. We need to pick a toasting wine there.
Cool, I'm going to go for Premices,
Okay.
my own surprise.
Premices. Brilliant. Thank you, Essi, for that lovely insight. And I hope you all get a chance to try one of these lovely champagnes very soon. Happy Friday.